Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn QuickFile training session on the reports drawer. My name is Brett Roberts. I'll be the one conducting this training session. I want to thank you all for attending. We're calling this a Lunch and Learn because we hope that you're sitting down at your desk, you got a nice sandwich or your meal in front of you, and you're going ahead and listening to this webinar. We are recording this webinar, so you will be able to, it will be available on our website to listen to again and play back. You can have your employees listen to this report or listen to this webinar or anything else that you need to do with it, play it back as many times as you want. This webinar is going to cover our reports drawer. Now, want to make sure that we understand a couple of things. There are going to be some reports that I'm going to point out into this during the course of this webinar that are going to be basically available to our enterprise users or our online hosted data users. And we want to make sure that you guys understand that some of the reports, if you're working on our desktop version, are not going to be able to be seen unless you update or upgrade to our enterprise version of our software. If at any time you decide, after you get done with this webinar, and you say, hey, you know what, I like that report. I want to, I really like to get to it, and really like to utilize it in my office. I think it'll be beneficial. Please feel free to contact your sales reps. Okay. One other thing that I just want to mention, this is a specialized training session, so we are going to keep the questions basically to the topic at hand, which is reports. So any questions that you have during the course of this webinar that are on reports, please feel free to direct those questions. Amy, my associate, is going to monitor those questions. So, she'll be answering those and giving you guys your answers just as quickly as possible. We will have a lot of questions during the course of this webinar. Also, just so you know, any training webinars that you haven't gone through are all pre-recorded on our website. So if you need to get any additional training or you want to go through the entire training program, please visit our website at qqonline.com. Go to Training and select Webinars. All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and get on the reports. I have roughly about 60 minutes, so let's go ahead and dig right in. I'm going to go ahead and open up the reports drawer. You'll notice that on my screen here, I am working in the enterprise version of our software, so I am logged in as an administrator. So we're going to go ahead and start with these reports. Now, when we open up the reports drawer, you'll notice that we have a series, or these are grouped by different types of reports that we can run: financial reports, company reports, client reports, and reconciliation reports. Okay, these are different categories that you might want to look at. You can see our financial reports are growing. We have quite a few in there. If you're a desktop user, you may not see as many in here as what you would see on our as you see here listed. So just again, remember, I am working in the enterprise version of our software. But a lot of the reports that I'm going to go over are available in your current desktop version. Let's go ahead and start off with a pretty simple one right up here at the top. And just to let you know, as I select some of these, I'm going to point out some basic features and functionalities of them and just really kind of give you a broad overview on some of this stuff. And I might go into detail about a lot of the other stuff. If I want to run an agency payment report and see who's taking money in my office, for today or maybe for a date range, or I want to look at something specific, I can always run a report. As you can see over here on the right-hand side, I have the ability to run these reports based on predefined dates. I can select this month, or if I click on these drop-downs, we have what we call smart dates, and I can run all dates, last month, last year, so on and so forth. Okay, for this report, I'm going to run this month, okay, and I'm going to just click on Run Report, and it's going to run everything for this month. And you can see that I haven't taken a lot of payments in this agency, okay, for this week. But what I have done, okay, is I have my endorsements. All right, I took a payment on there, and I can see that that payment was $1,600 on new business, and maybe a payment that was due, and I took a payment on that. So you can see my total here. Okay, this is a pretty basic report. It isn't anything fancy. You will notice that on all of our enterprise reports, we do have this button up here that says Export to Excel. That means that you can send this to an Excel spreadsheet. You can send, you can run a couple of reports, send 2 or 3 reports, and export them to Excel, and then merge that data and massage it however you need to do so. Let's go ahead and close this out. I'm going to select the Agent Commissions report. When I do that, I want you to notice that over on the right-hand side over here, we have this little button here that says Create Custom Report. Okay? What happens with this and how this and why this is important to us is that Create Custom Report button allows me to take the search criteria for the Agent Commission report, and it allows me to create a custom report template based on the information that I have selected for this report. So as we look at this report, when I run it, and I'm going to run it for a rather large date range. I'm just going to do year to date. So I'm going to use my smart dates here, and I'm going to go year to date. And I'm going to click on Run Report. I can separate by agent, so if I wanted to run a separate report for each agent, that would be fine. But I'm going to go ahead and run the report as it is. I click on Run Report, and as you can see, it's relatively fast. I already have my report up, and I can view now who is doing what. Okay, so if I enlarge this a little bit, you can see that I have agent, insured, effective date, coverage, premium, commission. Okay, I have this little column here that says earned commission. Now, over the years, we've gotten a lot of questions. Well, Brett, what does this column stand for? Well, for those of you who use your commission reconciliation report, which is something that we'll touch on a little bit later, for those of you who use that particular report, this earned column stands for, this means that you have received money for this commission that's right here. So since there's a commission right here, that means that you've earned money on that. You've received money on that. Okay? So that's what that earned column means. Okay? Over here, as I scroll to the right, you can see we put our optional coverages, like agency fees and billing, entries, nation safe drivers for those of you who write NSD, optional premium, optional commission, agent commission. So we have all of those listed here. And you can run this report. At the very end of the report, on page 2, we'll get a grand total of premium, commission, and optional premium, and agency or agent commission. Okay? These are only going to work, guys, if you have a commission structure set up for those agents. All right? And I want to make sure that that's pretty clear. The agent that you're looking for is attached to the client screen, so that's also where this information is pulling from. In other words, if Sally is the agent on the actual client screen, then this is where this information is coming from. Very important that we understand that. Okay. Again, keep in mind we can export this information to Excel if we need to, and then massage the data however we want to. I'm going to go ahead and close this. All right. Let's talk about some of the daily reports that we might run. For example, we might run a daily closeout. A daily closeout just simply gives me all the items, all the transactions that I've done for the day, whether it be on a new business policy, an endorsement, a monthly payment that I might have received in my office. It could be a number of things. Again, I'm just going to run this report and leave my predefined dates here so I get some data to show you guys. When I click on Run Report, you can see that everything is basically broken out for me. I have my agent, my client, or my agency, my client, my CSR, the date, the payment description, and what I took. Okay. Now, it's not the payment type is not broken out into columns, and that's okay. Why is that okay? Well, I'll tell you. Because down here at the very bottom, I break this out by payment type and give you a grand total of each. If there happens to be a split payment or something like that, I can show you what those split dollar amounts are right here on this particular report. And again, you can export this out to Excel, and it can be handled however you need to handle it. Okay. All right. So this is our daily closeout report. Let's go ahead and close this report. As we close this report, again, this is a report that is available in both desktop and enterprise. This one right here, called the Depositing Agency Report, is for our multiple office locations, okay? And what I mean by that is if you've got 2 or 3 offices, they're all taking payments, you want to know if somebody from another office took a payment on a client that belongs in your office. Do they owe you money? Do they require to pay you back that money? Okay? So there's all kinds of reasons why we would run this report. Basically what we're trying to accomplish here, and this is again an enterprise-only report, but basically what we're accomplishing here is if I select all my agencies and I run my report, click OK, and I run my report for my date range, you can see by this report that this particular office for this location, this office here, which is the depositing agency, owes me money. Okay? So this guy owes me money. Where does he owe me money from? From that agency. Same thing with this one over here. They owe me money. So I can see at a glance who owes me what. Okay? All right. And if I go down here to the very last page, I can see my grand total of outstanding payments that might need to be transferred to me. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close this report out. Let's talk about some of the newer reports. For example, a new enterprise report is detailed transaction by company. You must have QuickFile version 3.8D in order to see this report. It's a brand new report, QuickFile version 3.8D, detailed transaction by company. This is our existing detailed transaction. I'll show it to you very quickly so you can see. It's very simple. It's very easy to understand. It tells me any additional premium agency fees. It breaks it all out. Agency fee billing, agency fee by endorsement. I can see everything by office. If I go to the very end, it will give me a grand total, and it totals by office, so I can see each total by office. So again, if you have multiple offices, you're going to see these items by office. All right. Close this out, and let's go by company. What this does is it's the same basic report, but it's grouping it by agency, then by company. And a lot of our agents want to see different, the same information, but a little bit differently. Maybe they want to see it by company because that's how they track it. So again, the report is pretty flexible. Here you can see that it's by agency, then by company, and then each item that is encompassed within that company. So these totals, when I get down to, or when I go to my next page, okay, right here, it's going to tell me my total for company ARA Casualty. And here's my information. Okay? And then it goes just in order. And the companies are alphabetized just like you would see in your utilities. If I go to the very end, I also have this nice little feature, which is policies and endorsements by company. And it tells me what I did in new business, renewals, rewrites, and my endorsements. And it also gives me a grand total. So then I can see all the totals that I've done for each one of these categories in a nice, easy-to-read format. Okay? All right. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask Amy. She is monitoring those questions. We can export this information to Excel if you're an enterprise client. If you're a desktop client, we don't really have any way, or there's no mechanics to export any information to Excel out of the current desktop application. Let's talk about our end-of-day report. This is a report that some people use, others don't. It might just be a nice synopsis of information that you're looking for. I'm going to go back to, let's say, I don't know, we'll go back to like the 5th here. And I'm just going to include my month-to-date totals. I run my report. I may not get anything. I can't remember what dates I have transactions on. But as you can see, this is a very basic end-of-day report. It's in both QuickFile Desktop and Enterprise. It shows me my month-to-date. I'll close this out because now I know that I've got information in here. We'll run that report again. Okay, let's see. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the end-of-day report advanced. Now, for you enterprise users, this is again a brand new report. It's available in our enterprise version. I've got the end-of-day report advanced. let's do this. Include month to date. We'll run our report. Okay, and as you can see, here's the end of day report advanced. Now, as you can tell, it's quite a bit larger. It's got a lot more detail to it. It provides more detail. It gives you a really good understanding of what's going on in your office. For example, if you want to see all the monies that were taken by or to the agency, for example, cash, check, credit cards, money orders, EFTs or checks by phone to the agency, it's all listed right here. Okay. If you want to see the month-to-date totals, they're listed here. You can run this report just for today, or you can run it and include month-to-date information. Down here on your income, you see your new and renewal premium down payments. Okay, so this is what was for a down payment for a new or renewal policy. Any endorsement premium down payments, any other premiums that you might have collected, and again, down at the very bottom, we have agency fee totals and counts for new business, renewals, rewrites, endorsements. So if there was any agency fees, they would be listed here. Okay, commissions. This is very, very important for you guys to understand. If you receive money in on a specific date, okay, like for example today's date, you will see commissions listed here. All right, what's that mean to you? Well, that means that I actually received money from my carriers today. So that's what that's counting that as income, okay? And it may be classified up here as a check to a company or a check to, you know, whatever. So that's how it's listed up here. All right, let's go back up. I'll run another financial report just for you guys to see. For example, if I want to compare dates, compare production from one term to another, I can certainly do that. I can run the production analysis, either this one or by carrier. I run it. I'm going to open it up, and I'm just going to select a different date range. So if I want to run, let's say, 11/1/07 to 11/30, and compare that to 11 to 11/30, okay, or I can go predefined dates. I want to look, and I can base my premium or base information on when the customer was added on or after. Base it on premium. I can run it. What this is going to do? Whoops. Let's just change this to 2008. I'll get a nice little error if I don't do that. I'll run it. When I run my report, basically for my offices, it tells me what did they do this month compared to this month, okay? And I can see the difference, and I can see plus or minus, you know, and what's going on. And if I want to see all my changes, I can see them. It's all listed right here. So here's my totals. And if I have multiple offices, I can see by office what they're doing, if they're increasing or decreasing in business volume. Okay? So it depends on how you want to run this report. You can put the last date here, like for example 11/30 or 11/1/08 up top, and the 11/1/07 down at the bottom. Okay, and you can see your change and your differences if you need to. Okay. Let's close this report. Let's talk about your company reports. Some of the company reports in QuickFile are pretty simple and basic. We have this company report, okay, and if I want to run it, I can just run it for a specific date range, run that report, and it's really basically very simple. It doesn't tell me a whole lot. It just tells me my premium and my commission, okay? Now, you'll notice over in this little column here, we have this little thing called Q, I, and E. The Q stands for quoted. That means I've got quoted business on this person. The I stands for issued. That means I issued the premium. We always tell you for reporting purposes, this is really kind of a best practice if you want to make QuickFile work really well for you. We always tell you to make sure you put something in both quoted and issued. The reason being is because we do have reports that run based on the issued premium. in our next version of QuickFile, our next major release, QuickFile Evolution for our next major release, we are going to be basing things more on issued premium versus basing things on quoted premium. Quoted will be a thing of the past. You'll be able to see it, but it won't be reported. Okay? So, that being said, if you see an E next to that, that means that the policy was canceled and it's displaying the earned premium that you earned up through this date, all right, or up through the date of cancellation. Close this report out. The next thing that we're going to run is our cross-marketing report. A lot of you out there requested many months ago a cross-marketing report, and the cross-marketing report really gives you a sense of who has what and how you can cross-sell. Okay? All right. So, on our cross-marketing report, when I open it up, we're going to be presented with this screen. And this screen allows me to determine what I'm looking for. For example, over here, we're looking for people that have this particular line of business. Over here on this right-hand side, we don't want them to have this line of business or without this line of business. Okay? So, basically what this is saying is I'm going to query all my clients that have auto but not homeowners. Okay, so if I select homeowners and I click OK, and I'm just going to run this for last year, and I click OK, here's my report. Okay, so I've done a pretty good job of cross-selling here, right? Because I've only got 4 people on this list that have auto but not homeowners attached to their policy. Okay, so I've been able to close that gap. All right, this is the type of report you want to see, right? You know you're doing a really good job, and you got the majority of your clients from last year that have auto but not homeowners. So, that being said, it tells you cross-marketing report showing clients without homeowners policies. What information do we give you here? Well, we give you the insured's name, their address, their email address, their cell phone number, okay, their home phone number, a work phone number, okay, and down here we give them the number, your policy number, the line of business, the company, effective and expiration date. Okay. This is a very handy report to have. You can run it and pull it out and say, okay, give it to a CSR in the office and say, okay, here you go. These are the people that need to have letters sent to them, or we need to contact them, or whatever it might be. So that's how you're really looking at this report. It is truly a marketing report. You can run this with multiple lines. You can do auto and homeowners but not flood. You can do auto homeowners but maybe not commercial auto. Okay? And you can really kind of pick and choose how you're going to determine what you're looking for. All right? Also, the same information or the same reporting information that you're looking for is also available in the mailroom, which we won't discuss, but I just will let you know that you can run the same type of information or query this for your clients for marketing purposes. We'll close this out. I also have over here on the right-hand side our client reports. One of the main reports that we're looking at here that a lot of agencies want to look at is their renewal report. What's coming up? What do I need to concentrate on next month? What reports or what clients do I need to make sure renew? Who do I know that is kind of on shaky ground, not sure if I'm going to renew them or not? You can run the renewal report. So if we want to run the renewal report, let's say I want to run that for next month. Okay. And I click on Run Report. Okay. These are all of the policies that I have coming up for renewal. Okay. So here's my effective date, here's my expiration date, and here they are. And they're all coming up for renewal. I have an agent attached to them or a CSR attached to them, and I can run this report. Right. Now, an interesting twist on this is, let's say I really like this report. Okay, this report is really valuable information to me. But now what I want to do is I want to break it out. I want to make sure that you know, I get it just the way that I want it. Again, you know, you can export it to Excel and massage the data and separate it however you need to. Or if you give me, after we talk about commission reconciliations, we'll come back to this and I'll show you a really neat way to where you can make this report really work for you. So we'll close this out and let's talk about commission reconciliations for just a second. The reconciliation reports for billing, for carriers, for producers, for your today's memos, these are all really nice reports to see, you know, and track your incoming commissions and what you're paying out to your producers. The commission reconciliation, I mean, let's face it, that's all we really care about, right? We got our money coming in from our carriers, and we just want to make sure that they paid us in full on our particular policy holders. So on our commission reconciliation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open this up. When I open it up, you can see that it's really pretty basic information. There isn't a lot here that I need to really cover with you, but what I want to make sure is that we go through the entire process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back a little ways. All right, and I'm going to just click on Show Unpaid. When I do that, okay, you can see that I have a whole list of people that need to be paid. Right, got all kinds of stuff that's outstanding here. So basically, what you're looking at is over here on the left-hand side, you have the type. Okay, endorsement, new business, renewal. So this tells you what type of commission it is that you're reconciling. Okay, tells you your client's name, the company, the effective date, the policy number, premium, total commission that you're supposed to receive. You have two columns here that are really quite important to you: commission received to date and commission received now. The commission received to date tells you if there are any as-earned policies that are sitting out there. Okay, as-earned means that your client's on a monthly payment. Once the client pays the company pays you. That's as-earned. You might be earning an entire, you might be earning $350 on that policy, but you're going to get it as the client pays the company. So in order to track this, you simply can do a couple of things here. But let's reconcile one where we've gotten paid on full. So let's say on Stephen Adams here, we've got a policy that is $200 in premium. We're getting $24 in commission. We haven't received anything to date, so I'm going to slide down here, and I'm going to enter in $24. Okay. I'm going to select my payment method, check to agency, or I can select EFT if I want to. Okay. And he's got another policy worth $24, so let's go ahead and pay that one. All right. I don't see any negative numbers in here. If you did have a negative number, oh, right here. Okay. Down here at the very bottom, I got this endorsement for $143 in the negative. Okay, so this client is going to be charged back, or their premium was lowered by $143, which means that we're going to lose $14.30 in commission. Again, that being said, I'm going to reconcile this. I need to pay it back to the insurance company. So when I do that, it's going to be a minus, okay, $14.30. All right, and maybe that's going to be a check to company. Okay, or I can just do an EFT, which is fine, or a credit, which is fine. All right. However you want to classify these over here, it's really not necessary that you do, but if you want to track it in your daily closeout or in some other report in QuickFile, you may want to mark a payment method. Now, as you can see in this column, so now I've reconciled a minus amount, I've reconciled plus amounts. I've got some columns here. I've got this column here that's got received to date, and there's dollar amounts in here. Okay? So what's that mean to me? That means that we're going back to those as-earned policies. We put in the amount of money that we received, and this is what we received to date. Okay? So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and up here, at the very top, I've got Kristen. Okay? She owes, I'm still owed money on her. I got $300 sitting here. Okay? Let's say the insurance carrier went ahead and paid me another $100. Okay? Now, once I get up to the $597, this would be fully reconciled. Okay? But if I don't get up to the $597, let's say they paid me $596. Okay? It's not fully reconciled. So you can do one of two things. You can fully reconcile it by paying yourself the $597, okay, and showing the $597, or maybe that $597 is coming in next month's pay, okay, or that extra dollar is going to be somewhere else, or maybe it was spread out, but you got $597. Now, I've got all this money and I got all these policies reconciled. So you can see I've reconciled what I needed to reconcile. When I'm done reconciling those commissions, okay, I can go up here to the very top on the toolbar. I can click on Update Database. When I do that, you'll watch what happens. You'll notice that Stephen Adams is going to disappear off my list. Okay. Also, George Bush is going to disappear off my list. When I click on Update Database, okay, it's because I didn't enter in a payment type. It's okay. And voila. Now, what we want to pay really close attention to is that those items that I fully reconciled are now gone, and the items that I didn't fully reconcile are still listed. So my negative dollar amounts are gone, right? And my positives are gone. The only thing that's not gone is this $400. Instead of $300, I've got $400. So that's how you reconcile commissions. Okay? You may want to reconcile by insurance company. That's really simple. Instead of reconciling all of them at once, click on the drop-down menu and you can select your different insurance companies. And I'm just going to do ARA Casualty. If I select that, notice that it resorts it, and I can do it by company. Okay? If I have two company statements, like let's say Progressive and Progressive Northern and all of those different Progressive companies, I can click on this little button here that says Company, and I can multi-select items from this list. Okay? I can only select up to 5, but I can multi-select them. Okay? All right, so that's how we work with our commission reconciliation. Now, after we've paid ourselves for our commissions on our commission reconciliation, we're probably going to need to pay our producers. And the producers reconciliation is really pretty much the same thing. What I'll do is I'm going to leave the same date range, but I'm going to click on this little button here that says Producer Reconciliation, and when I do this date range, it's going to carry over to my producer reconciliation. So it's one less thing that I have to do. I don't have to go out and return and then come back in and enter in my date. I just click on producer reconciliation. Voila, there it is, from 1/1/07 to 5/13/09. Okay, I can reconcile producer commissions by just new business only, renewals, or rewrites. So if I'm looking for everything, that's fine. I can have all these checked, or I can uncheck them as I see fit. Okay, once I uncheck something, it automatically updates, shows my records, and I can see what's outstanding. If I want to just check on this again, we have here is we have all the policies that need to be reconciled for our producers. Okay, over here on the right-hand side where it says commission due, this is what you are going to pay the producer. Okay, so for example, I've got $190.49. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pay Antonio, and I'm going to pay him $190.49. Okay, I can call that cash. All right, and it looks like Brett is owed $170.50. We've only paid him $20 to date, so I'm going to pay him another $20. Okay, and when I pay him another $20, we'll make that cash. and you just go down the line and see who needs to be paid. Once you pay all of these, once you reconcile all these commissions, okay, you simply update your database. For those that are matched completely, the 190.49, because that's matched completely, it will disappear off my list. The ones that are not matched completely, for example, this $20 or this $107.50, it's not going to disappear off my list. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to update my database. When I update the database, you can see that the client, the first one, disappeared. It's off my list. I don't no longer have to reconcile it. This got updated to $40, okay? And here's my total commission due still. Okay? So we owe this person roughly $67.50. Now, if I wanted to, I could include my cancellations. I can run this report based on just one producer if I want to. I can run it for multiple producers. I can also, because I'm looking at just things that that are unpaid, if I want to, I can look at things that are paid. So if I click on paid, QuickFile will update everything, and it'll show me everything that's paid. Okay. I do have this sorted by producer, so you can see everything is by producer. If I want to, I can show this as a report. Okay. And now I can send that out or give it to whoever I need to give it to. I'll close this report. If I only wanted to do one producer, like let's say, for example, I only wanted to do Antonio. Okay, there's that. When I click on Show as Report, guess what? It's only going to be his items that I'm showing as a report. Okay, now that's what I paid him. Maybe he wants to see everything, not just what's paid, but everything that's unpaid. Okay, it doesn't look like I have much here because I selected all, and that would show paid and unpaid. But basically, he's paid up. He's all done. Okay. Even still, I show as a report. It tells me up here at the upper left-hand side, producer reconciliation, all transaction types. Okay. So it shows me what I've paid and what's unpaid. All right. Okay. Again, you can sort these out by producer, by company, or by insured, however you deem fit. So that's the producer's reconciliation. If there were negative numbers in there, you would reconcile the negatives to make sure that everything balanced out. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and return, go back to that. And now we're going to talk about the very last thing that we really need to discuss. Earlier I mentioned your custom reports. And remember I said if you see right here on the just below your custom report templates here, if you see a button that says Create Custom Report, you can click on that and it'll use those reports that are available to be customized. Okay, it'll allow you to customize that report based on the information that we have. So earlier I said, well, let's try and do this with our renewal report, because the renewal report is really quite handy. So we've got our custom report, and it's just going to ask me, do I want to create a custom report? And I simply say yes. Okay, so I click OK. And it's going to base it on the renewal report. And as you can see, I have my date type, which is searching by expiration date, because I want to see everything that is expired or coming up for renewal. Okay. My client status is active. My policy status is all policy statuses. I want to sort them by date. But you know what? Sorting by date is really nice, and that's great. But you know what? Maybe I want to sort this really by agent, okay? And since it's their business and their renewals, I want to group each sort by, and I want to start each group on a new page. So at the end of the month, or 6 weeks prior, or 4 weeks prior, I run my renewal report, and it's sorted by agent. So I'm looking for everything, new, renewal, all for endorsements. I'm looking for all endorsements. I'm looking to change the orientation. Remember when we looked at this report the first time, it was in a landscape. You want to keep that same landscape. All right? And I've got my selection types already taken here. Okay? I didn't really have to do much. I just sorted by agent, grouped each agent, and started each agent on the new page. Next, we go to the Filters tab, and I need to filter my information. So I'm going to narrow my information down. Why am I going to narrow it down? Well, maybe there's information that I really need. Okay, so on my agent, I see all agents. Line of business, well, that's not on my report. I've got my company on report. Maybe I need it by line of business. Well, let's see. We'll come back to the line of business. Let's see if we got more room on our report to do that. Next, we have show these fields. Okay, and I got premiums, commissions, home phone number, work phone number, policy number. Oh, and I've got my effective date down here. So, as you can see, my report's really ready to go. Okay, and I'm going to run this report based on next month. I click on Run Report. QuickFile has now reworked that particular report, and it now gives me by agent. Now, most of you are probably looking at this screen. You're going, Brett, where's my agent? Okay, I don't see the agent name. Well, that means that this agent or this client doesn't have an agent attached to him on the client screen. If he had an agent attached to him on the client screen, that agent's name would be listed up here. If we go to page 2, now we have Eleanor, and she is listed on these particular policies that are going to be renewing in the next month. Okay, and now if I want to, I can take that out a little bit further. Got one for Henry, okay, Sam, and as you can see, I can just keep going down the list. I can print this out, and once I'm done printing it out, each one of them has a total. Each one of them has a number of clients to contact. I've got home phone number, work phone number. I got everything that they need. I can even see the agency that they're associated with, the company. Everything's a go. I'm going to send it off to them. Okay. Again, you can export it to Excel. You can resize the columns here if you want to. It's not something that we recommend that you do. It doesn't work very well at this point. We're going to work on revamping that with our new version. Okay. Some of these things will get a revamp, a rework. Okay. I can print this out, do whatever I need to. Now, let's say that I really like this report. This report is exactly what I need. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this report, and I know I've got a renewal report that gives me a overall view of what I got coming up for renewal. But this report here breaks it out by agent, and I love it, and that's the way I want it to be. So what am I going to do with it? Well, I'm going to save it. So we go up here to the very top on the toolbar. We click on Save Report Template. Okay. Now, I don't want this report for just one office. I got a couple offices, so I'm going to make sure that this report is saved for everybody so that all the managers in my offices can run them. Okay? If you got one location, you just save it as that one location, and that's fine. Okay? We're going to call this Renewal by CSR or by agent. Okay? When I'm done, I click OK, and it's saved. So you can tell it's saved because the report name is up here on the very right-hand side, or left-hand side, and it says Renewal by Agent. Now, if I want to open this report template again, I'm going to go ahead and clear this. Okay, so I've cleared that report. But if I want to open it up again, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to select Renewal by Agent. Okay, I click OK. When I open it up, it saved the date range that I was looking for. I click OK, and I run my report. Okay, same report that I had before. I'm running it by agent. Okay, there we go. There's everything that I need. Now, let's say that I want to modify this. Okay, it says sort by agent, but you know what? Maybe I want to go by CSR too. Okay, because maybe I've got an agent on the policy, but I got a different CSR on each one of them. Okay, that's possible, guys. It happens. You know, everybody operates their business a little bit differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort by CSR. In my filter screen, I see the agent and the CSR, but I don't want to see the agent right now. So I'm just going to say not on report. Okay. And that's the only modification that I've made to this report. I haven't touched any information here, and I haven't touched any information here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and run my report. Okay. I've ran my report. It is by CSR. Okay. And you can see that I don't have a CSR attached to any of these policies. Why is that? Because it's blank. Okay. So these policies don't have CSRs attached. That's fine. You know what? That might be a check for you guys. You might go, well, wait a minute. Why isn't there a CSR attached to this? Okay. Depends on your business. Here's my CSRs. And here's the policies that they're attached to. Okay. As you can see, I've got 9 pages and all the things that are attached to my CSRs. Okay. So that's basically how that customized report is working. I can click on Close, and let's say that this is exactly what I need for this report. I click on Save Report Template. Okay. And instead of Renewal by Agent, I'm going to change this. So I'm just going to modify the name. I'm going to call it Renewal by CSR. I click OK. Notice my report name changed. If I click on Say on Open Report Templates, you can see that I'll have 2 listings down here. Renewal by Agent, Renewal by CSR. So there it is. Simple as that. Now, remember, anytime you get ready to save a custom report, save it up here, put in the name, select your offices. For desktop users, you just have to put in the name of the report and click OK. All right. Now, if you would decide you want to design a new one, well, let's go ahead and design a new one. I'm going to clear this report, and let's say that I want to look for specific things. Let's say I want to look for all of my new business for a specific time frame. Okay. Now we have a new business report. It's a standard report, but let's say I want a little bit different information. So I'm going to look by effective date. I'm going to select my client status. I want to look at only active clients. I want my policies to be only active. I want to sort them out, okay, by agent. Okay. I just want to look at new business only. I don't want to see endorsements because I just want to see new business without endorsements. So I'm going to exclude my endorsements. Okay. Landscape. Remember, I forced it landscape. Okay. I want to group these by agent. Click on filters. Notice that my agent is already selected right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to go over here and I want to see on that report line of business. Maybe I want to see the company. Okay. And in the show these fields, maybe I want to see premiums, commissions. Okay. Oh, and I want to see the expiration date. Okay. So now I've got effective date, expiration date, premiums, commissions. I've got all the information that I need for my report. The only thing I don't have is my date range. Notice that it's on today's date. So I go up here to the very top. I select my drop-down menu, year to date. Okay. When I select my drop-down menu and select year to date, I'm going to go ahead and run my report. When I run that report, okay, that's not surprising. We'll run it. Make sure I got to select an agency here. Okay. Now, I didn't get a very big report because I don't got a lot of data in here. I don't have a lot of data in here. Let's go out here and make it a little bit different. We'll change that. Remember, you can change all these things on the fly, so it doesn't really matter, just like I'm doing. Okay. Run the report. There it is. Okay. Still the same amount of data. Okay. But you'll notice that it's grouped by agent. Okay. If I don't have an agent attached to it, okay, it's going to come up blank. That's why I did. Okay. Just so you see a little better, let's do a different date range. Let's go by last year. Okay. Again, there's nothing listed in this column. That means they're not attached. But now it's sorted by agent. So now I have a group and a total. Okay, group and a total. At the very end, when you do the sort by or group by, you'll get a grand total of 97 clients and the grand total of whatever in premium listed right here. That being said, if you group each sort by and start one on a new page, what will end up happening is you'll get a total for that group, but not a grand total for everything that you just got done looking at. Okay, so that's one of those things that when we run the report, you'll notice if I go to the last page, okay, I only have a total for that particular agent. I don't have a grand total that I can look at. To get that grand total, we simply uncheck the start each group on a new page. Voila. Okay. Again, you want to save the report template? Save it. Okay. Notice that it saved the last thing. Okay. Now I want to say new business by, agent or CSR, and I can save it as such. All right. Now, I've just got done designing all of these really nice custom reports, and it's kind of a hassle to go back and forth between standard reports and custom reports and open them up and this, that, and the other thing. So on our standard reports, you'll notice that we have these buttons over here that say Saved Custom Reports. Now, let's say that I want to put that Renewal by Agent report somewhere where I can access it very quickly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right-click, okay, and it's going to bring up a list of every single report that I've ever saved. And I'm going to scroll down here, okay, and I'm going to say Renewal by Agent, and I click OK. All right, and I'm going to select the agency all. I click OK. And you'll notice that now my custom button changed and it says Renewal by Agent. If I click on it, all right, it keeps my specific dates. I can change these dates. I can do whatever I want to. I click OK, run my report, okay, and it's the same report that I had earlier. All right, nothing changed with this report. It's exactly the same information. Again, many of our standard enterprise reports will be allowed to be exported to Excel. All of your custom reports that you design will be allowed to be exported to Excel. Okay. All right. So that's designing a custom report. That's how we design custom reports. Again, remember, many of your standard reports have the ability to be made into a customized report. Okay. Remember, look for that little button over there on the right-hand side. Okay. Before we close, I want to make sure that we have all of our questions answered, and if there's anything that my associate Amy needs to have me go back through. I think there is one thing that I missed. I missed it earlier. On my custom reports, on my filters, you'll notice that over here, real quick, see these little buttons? These buttons allow me to multi-select. So if I click on that, I can multi-select items, just like in the producers. I can multi-select. So if you see these little buttons here, that means you can select 5 items. Okay. I can select whatever line of business I want. Okay. So you can multi-select up to 5 items. All right. Okay. So just check in with Amy and make sure that all of our questions are answered. If we've got any questions, if there's anything that I need to go back to. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that concludes our webinar for this afternoon. We're roughly right about, about 50 minutes. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Hope you learned a lot. We will be starting to, try and do some type of specialized webinar, every week, or I'm sorry, every month. So look for another training session to come up on a different topic. Just a reminder, this webinar has been recorded, so it will be posted to our website. If you have the need to go back through it again, or you want to have one of your agents or CSRs go through it, feel free. It's going to be recorded. It's going to be free to look at any time, day or night, available 24/7. Again, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to learn about all the reports in QuickFile. Everybody have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. This webinar is officially closed. I'm going to leave it open for questions. So we're going to go ahead and get off the phone, but we'll leave the questions open for another 5 minutes. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.